Oh, I didn't even get killed by that guy. I got killed by some underling. Well, it's a whole bunch of talking about stuff that went over each other's heads, apparently, up until the end. Here, you want to flex on me now? What's something you watched that I haven't?
Well, I have no weed flexes for you, sorry. But,
It doesn't have to be weed flex. Flex some other thing.
Okay.
Just saying, something you watched that I haven't. Then why'd you jump to weeb stuff?
Well, I mean, we already talked about The Sopranos a little bit, and then
Yeah, and then I talked about it.
You haven't still seen Road to Perdition at this point, yes?
No, I haven't because
It's good. It's
Sure,
got Jude
I don't.
Law and
Yeah, you told me that recently, and that helped because I mean I do like Tom Hanks, but I also like Jude Law, so I pressed open to open. Oh, okay, good. Oh, is this a checkpoint? Perfect, because we're just at the hour-ish mark. Well. Oh. I mean, I don't know. I'll give it a try, I guess.
It's... No, it's good. I mean,
It's good.
There's certain movies that I have been reluctant to see because I go, this is going to cheapen mob culture. Like, for instance, as much as I love or have loved in the past Johnny Depp's work, Public Enemies, I'm like,
Oh. Did you see, what's it called, Black Mass or something like that?
No.
I'm curious about that one because I mean, it's a movie that pretty much everyone says it's a really cliche mob film, but Johnny Depp's the only good thing about it.
Yeah.
Because he plays Whitey Bulger, who's an actual mobster.
Yeah.
I think it's called Black Mass. Something like that. But, yeah. Alright, well. Tune in next week for more things each of us will see that the other hasn't.
Tune in next week when we find out what mob we've actually started.
Okay.
To sign up, you need to pay a dues of...
You have to
couple
cut off
grand.
your pinky into a manila folder and send it to this address. Well, I feel like
Why the pinky?
because that's what the Yakuza do. Actually, it might be is it the Yakuza or is it the Triad? I don't know.
I don't know.
Basically, it's not the whole pinky. It's
Bratva
essentially if you.
Bratva is a brand.
From what I understand, no, it's not. It's not a joining thing. It's like if you screw up in some serious way, you reaffirm your commitment by going to the leadership, and you literally are expected to take a knife, cut off not your whole pinky, but like one knuckle, and you are expected to do so without showing pain, and that's essentially you like atoning for your mistake. And then, you know, the more it happens, like, you have to cut off more of the knuckles each time. This is all internet stuff that I've heard. I don't know how accurate it is, but I mean, that it is such a trope suggests that it was something like that at some point. Anyways, so there is no way to automatically save, so we just have to hope that... No, okay, return to... Okay, so this mission's not yet done. Which means it might not save if we end now.
Well, we don't have to record the entirety of this.
Well, but I mean, the question is, okay, it seems as though it will end once we get to the shuttle bay. So the question is, how much effort's that really going to take? I mean, we're slightly over an hour. If we can do it in less than like 20 minutes, then it might be worth just closing it so that we don't have to worry about the saving. I mean, basically, we're just going backwards the way we came! Nobody go down that hallway, I laid a big one. I've got crappy guns.
It's okay, I just used a match.
Is there anything at all behind that idea?
It works. It's the weird...
It works?
It does. It's
How
the
do
weird...
you know?
Because I've done it.
Why have you done it?
Because sometimes the bathroom reeks, and when you put a match in the toilet, it actually helps.
How?
Because the weird...
What's the science? Is it just that smoke overrides the other smells?
It is. Yes.
Well, so then, okay. So,
It's not complicated. You were expecting some sort of...
Well, but why?
There's
in that
a magic
case, I mean, in that
formula
case,
with-
then just like a candle would work.
Yes.
Okay, so it doesn't. I thought it was something to do with like the match is supposed to burn something. Like, I don't know, you were burning the methane away or something.
Well, unless you're holding it up to your rear end, and at that point,
See, I don't even think that would work.
It does, and people have gotten burned many
How
times.
do you know this?
Because
Have you
I've
tried this
watched-
as well?
No, I've watched YouTube, or I've watched
YouTube.
funniest home
I've
videos
watched people
of people
stick matches up their butts.
of people trying to do the weird hairspray and flames, and
Well, that's a different thing, because that would work.
they fart and it travels back up the smoke and ends up burning their buns.
What video is this? I think you've been hanging around the weird parts of the internet again. Okay, come on, guys. Here we go. Enemies. This must mean that's the way forward. Stop that. We gotta get out of here.
That's what happens when you delve too greedily on the internet.
Well, I mean,
You know what they awoke in
You'll
the
find.
dark.
You'll find stuff. All right, come on. Let's just get to the shuttle bay. I want to close this mission off. Come on, fellas. Come on, everybody. This way to the food. Well, checkpoint done. That suggests something is working. Aha! This looks shuttle bay-ish. No, it's not the shuttle bay. This is some kind of computer thing. Oop. Stop it.
I'm not doing nothing.
I don't know nothing about nothing. Is this just a repeat of the cutscene we've already seen?
Never made, but you are right here, where you should not.
Apparently.
Yeah, okay, so that's just a repeat. So, we gotta get out of here. No, I'm gonna die. You shall not. Oh, it did. Oh, you were all. Okay, where was I? I was alone in that room fighting demons.
Yes.
Also, so where was my squad?
Keep it up, bro.
Oh, come on. Come on. Ah. Stupid prisons being laid out like nonsense. Alright, well. I had another idea for a topic, but it's gone now. Okay. I have to now wonder if this is a wise idea or if we're just gonna... The question I really don't want to have to do this again if it doesn't save properly, because that'll be very frustrating. Who the heck are you?
I'm trying to zap to your buns, and I can't.
Don't do that, please. Okay, I think we're getting somewhere. Alright, you're in there. Don't touch the terminal. Okay, fight whatever's in there. There's something growling at you. Okay, how did I not find it this time? Here we go.
I don't think there's anybody in here.
There is. Aha!
Cortana to Echo 419. We have the captain and need extraction on the double.
Okay.
Cortana, I've been engaged by Covenant Air Patrols, and I'm having a tough time shaking them. You'll be better off finding your own ride. Sorry.
That was some
Acknowledged.
grade A acting.
Cortana out.
Air support is
I barely move.
Well, don't move at all.
to move in.
Stand completely still forever.
We're screwed! We're screwed, man! Stow the belly aching, soldier. Remember, you're a leatherneck.
Stow the belly
You
aching.
can get us into one of those.
I thought he said something about nut enough.
What?
Dropship still not.
It's a little bit like grow a pair. It's a little like,
What? You're gonna have to qualify this. I'm at a loss.
Well, that's the thing.
What is
Saying that.
saying? I said repeat it.
Nutting up.
No.
Yes.
What? Who's ever said this to anyone ever?
You know, I've heard it.
You've heard it on the strange parts of the internet again?
Yes. This is where I...
Whoop,
Oh,
there you go. Now you got zapped to me, buns.
where I
Because
watched-
my buns are in the right
this is
spot.
where I watched Vanya.
So this is what you think of anime then, clearly. All anime, regardless of what it is, it exists in the weird part of the internet. It's
Well,
like,
it's not unfair.
it's like the Sonic fandom.
Could it start out innocent? Sure, but does it really stay that way?
Oh, hey, it's the Shuttle Bay. Okay, so this may not have been a mistake. I gotta touch the weird electro pubes. I don't know what the weird thing is.
That's it. The dropship is loose.
Oh, okay, so this... Alright, this didn't take much time at all.
Well, I'm glad we did this.
I'm glad I ate that. Alright, well, unless this isn't the end of the mission, but I'm hoping it is. So,
Give me a minute to interface with
I had a thought for a future seed, but maybe we'll not... I can't remember it.
Oh, another thing you might want to watch if you're into...
Have you watched this one?
Yes.
Okay.
That if you're into this, is that Jim Gaffigan has a new stand-up.
Oh, does he?
Yep. It's called Dark Pale, and it's hilarious because most of it is very dark humor, and it's really funny. Like, it's all like death humor, and he goes, yes, this is the entire bit. Like, at one point, you can tell the audience is going, is this seriously? And he, of course, then references them. It's like, is this going to be the entirety of the show? And he goes, yes. That's why it's called Dark Pale. He starts talking about how, like, he's talking about COVID and like all the numbers of people that have, like, on a statistic level that have died and stuff like that. It's funny.
Alright, this does seem like we finally had a new mission, so we're good. I was going to touch on something deep.
You were going to touch something deep?
Yep, I was going to reach right in there. It was going to be about you and where you hang your hat.
What?
I had a topic that I can't remember now why it came to me, but it was something. It's going to be a continuation of our discussion of what was it's just, wow, you almost said It's Always Sunny. Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind.
Neil, don't try to make me cry.
It's Always Sunny in the Spotless Mind. The Eternal Sunshine of Philadelphia.
That movie seriously still, I don't
Well, but
know
see,
if
that's
it is.
precisely what it was going to be, is because I was curious. I mean, we don't need to get into it, although perhaps I'll seed it so that you can spend some time thinking about it. Because it seems to me, based on that conversation and some others, that you find it somewhat unsettling when a piece of media or art strikes close to home, for lack of a better phrase.
Well,
And
emotionally, sure.
Yeah, and I don't feel that way. I
don't-
actually
I don't
find
feel
that to be positive.
Well,
I'm
yes,
like,
it is
hey, something
positive.
that...
It is positive, it's just not comfortable.
See, but that's odd. I don't feel uncomfortable by it. If anything,
It's
I
not-
find it
no.
heartening.
Yes, but
Whereas
in
you
it-
seem, because we've had, this is the thing, I tease you about Halsey for a reason where it's like, I think the reason you don't like her is because she's too much like you.
no, the
Or
point-
too much like a past version of you.
that
that
may
more
be
charitable?
That may be charitable. Yes, that's a fair assessment. I think that I have come a long way, certainly, from the person I used to be, which is very much somebody who was not.
An angsty 20-year-old woman.
No, but I mean, there was a degree of emotion dictating my response rather than the other way
I
around.
say we can pause here since we're done.
And I think that even within the context of of Eternal Sunshine, it's not that it's a bad thing when things hit home. I think I appreciate them in that it helps me process, like that's definitely a feeling or an emotion I'm having right now or
Yep,
whatever.
that's a feeling.
And it can help you clarify things maybe that you weren't aware that you were feeling, but I think it certainly is not, I wouldn't describe it as comfortable. Positive, helpful, useful, sure, but not comfortable.
But do you seek that out?
Yes, intentionally, because of course you want to do that self-development. That's why I enjoyed the movie. It's just,
But why
again,
don't
I
you
was
like Halsey then?
Because Halsey's not good.
You have not said that.
I did say that. I didn't enjoy her. I liked the one song, and I actually said as much. That one slow.
No, you said
one
you
that
liked those
said
two
was-
songs, and then I said if you listen to the album, you'd like more of it. Have you done that?
I don't know which album I was supposed to be listening to. I have listened to more songs, and that one song that I had actually added to my playlist was the one that was the slow one that doesn't even really sound like her normal stuff. It's not even electronic, or really. It's like more alternative. Acoustic
I don't know what that
almost.
is. Then you're gonna have to.
I can't remember what the song is called even.
Well,
But anyway,
I don't know. We'll talk about. Well, I mean,
want to talk about my angsty?
we
teenness?
could. I mean, we're far enough in that this could just be one long episode, or we could just make it another one. But that's up to you.
I don't know, Mr. Krabs.
That's why I'm asking.
Well,
I'm putting the ball in your court. Putting your balls in the court.
what about my ball sack? Do you remember that commercial? That was one of my favorites.
Which brand was it
It
again?
was Axe, and it was that
Really?
dumb detailer that they released after a while, and it was like it was supposed to be like clean your balls or whatever, but it was like they really leaned into some of the. Yes, it can even clean these really old, dirty balls. It was like the freaking black guy stands up. What about my ball sack? He's got like a.
Nobody's gonna, without context, everyone's gonna think this is some obscene commercial from years ago. I mean, it sort of was, but it wasn't this obscene.
It was obscene.
Well, no, but not if without context. It sounds like we're just describing a bunch of it. Yeah, the thin pretext is they're actually talking about
Like,
sports balls.
yeah. Clean your dirty equipment was the whole. And they were literally using the detailer to like clean off volleyballs and basketballs, and it got really on the nose.
Oh, it was on the nose.
The woman was like doing this with like golf balls. It was
I'm
like,
just
no,
saying.
that-
I'm just saying. Without at least giving that caveat, everyone's gonna think like, was this seriously some like horrific pornographic
some
commercial?
old man on the stage.
Well, they had that too.
I know. That's why I found that funny.
Anyways, okay, is this the ending bit or the transition bit? It's up to you to decide.
Might as well just
Only you can decide.
Only you can prevent ball sack wash.
Why is this something you want to prevent? I think we ought to be encouraging that.
Not with the detailer, you won't.
Well, I don't know what that, but all right. Well, that means I expect stirring commentary from you if we're going to continue.
Means I expect pristine ball sacks from you.
Okay.
All right. They stole your place on the truck, so you're going to have to
Kill 'em for it.
get somebody else.
No.
You're going to... Hey! Don't go killing my crew.
Sure I will.
Yeah, see, you can just kick him off.
I love how he says
He's
everybody
standing on your
out.
head.
Everybody out. No, just you.
By that, I mean, I'll see you later. Whoa, why do I suck at driving suddenly?
He left us here. What?
Oh, well, hey, we're in a good mood. Talk about your feelings.
What is it that you're wanting to know
We've pushed
about?
past tired and have reached everything's funny stage.
Everything is funny, even with the songs that really quite suck.
I thought you were going to somehow work ball sacks back in.
No!
Everything is funny.
Especially when your ball sacks are really amok.
Ew. If yours are a muck, you got to take them away.
No, what is it that your question about my Eternal Sunshine struggles?
Eternal sunshine of the clean sack. Oh, I should have said spotless sack. I totally missed that.
Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Sack. That's gonna be.
Ouch. Oof. I was curious. And that's it.
This is gonna delve further into this.
See,
than
but
I
you don't.
really
Yeah, but
wanna
see,
go.
exactly, because you're uncomfortable with it,
It's not that.
and that's what
It's
intrigues me.
uncomfortable with whom I share it with.
Oh wow! Thank you for that.
No, this is not happening to anything to do
Today
with
you learned that you're not as close of a friend as you thought you were.
Today you learned that I don't want to share this with the public.
Well, I forget. I can't actually remember what prompted it. I was thinking of something because it was the joke about the whole Janus Proteus and how apt those myths actually are when you think about them.
To us, you mean?
Yes, but then the thing that occurred to me, because we had the conversation about Halsey, when I was trying to convince you that based on the metrics you yourself were using, I wasn't understanding why it wasn't appealing to you, because I was like, surely the way you talk about things is like this, so why is it that this makes you like, I don't like this?
And I think I had mentioned something about...
And you said something about how you look for art, or I'm paraphrasing your words, so correct me if I'm misremembering. You said something about, like, you want it to be not as it is, but as you wish it was.
Correct. It's an idealist, yes.
And I guess that's...
It's
I mean,
the
I can
ideal
understand
versus,
that.
It's like art's supposed to represent the best of humanity, not the actual humanity. If that makes sense.
That's a loaded
It
sentiment.
is. Well, it's a very simplified. Like, I don't think that that's all art should be. I guess that's that's unfair. Okay, how many lives does this guy have? Sounds like Al Qaeda.
Ah, boy, we're going down.
I'm abandoning ship.
Oh, hey, that survived nice and easy. I don't know what we're actually supposed to do. Oh, he stole your gun.
I may actually let him do that this time.
Okay, well, I'm gonna run you over.
No, you shan't.
Anyways, and then it just got me thinking, because we were talking about, I was thinking, I guess, because there was one song, particularly, I can't remember which one.
So really, this is just you trying to push Halsey at me again.
Well, in a way, yes, but what I am trying to get at is...
Halsey is amazing.
I'm trying to decipher, given that I clearly had, based on the way you have described things in the past, I had a perception that you would like her more than you seem to. Which means...
Part of it is purely the vibe. I mean, I
suppose, but can you give an explanation of the vibe? What about the vibe
I
you like?
I'm picky with, like, electronica stuff. I'm not a huge...
Is that really all of it is? Because you didn't like the one acoustic song either.
Yes, I did.
No, you
Which
didn't.
one?
The one from the most recent album. The one that I used at the end of my conversion list, and you were like, that didn't work. Unless, has it secretly come around to working?
No.
If it does, I demand
It's a different
credit.
one that I put on my playlist that I ended up liking.
Well, then you're going to have to get that out.
I will have to
get it out.
Take it out. Show us how clean and spotless it is.
My analysis indicates that the map room should be at the bottom.
Catch it outside. How about that? I can't.
Whoop.
I cannot recall.
Well, then that's and this goes nowhere.
Well, I can't rightly pull it up right this moment because I'm in the middle of blowing alien brains.
Well, okay, now we're not doing that. So do what you got to do.
Well, it's okay.
Is it even in here? I mean, okay, how hard's it going to be?
It's going to take a second because
well,
I don't remember.
I'll stare at the lovely nuclear facility we seem to be in.
Go ahead, Cortana. Have you found the control center?
Oh, hey.
Negative, Captain. The Covenant...
Because the thing that occurred to me is I did try to show you, I'm trying to remember the name of the song. It was which one?
Understood. We're still...
I Hate Everybody, which has the lines... I'm trying to now remember how the chorus goes. Dang it. I'm trying to remember, because essentially what I remember you saying you didn't like is that it flipped back and forth between I don't need anyone, I'm on my own, versus I need someone. Because it's oh no, it's not that song. It's
I think that's the one.
I don't need everyone, I just need everyone. Or I don't need anyone, I just need everyone and then some. That one. That's the one. I mean, no one else will have heard that, but the one you just played for a second, that was it. And you expressed some kind of frustration that it's like, oh, it flips back and forth and it's not, clean black and white. And I was like, your whole thing is, liminal space. That literally is what your mythological character represents. So why is it that level of both and it seems like that should be right up your alley if that's your whole thing. Because you were like, no, I want it one separate, and then you acted as though they can't be one song. I need one song that's like this, and then another song like this, and then it's up to me to listen to them separately. And I found that to be a very bizarre micromanagerial way of doing music. Where it's like, I can't put two different feelings in one song. A song has to have one feeling, and then the other song has the other feeling. And then I'll listen to them back to back or something. And I was like, that seems very strange.
I'm not going to be able to listen to
It's like going to a bar and saying, you can't mix the drink, you'll have to bring all the ingredients to me and I'll mix them.
I don't trust anyone.
Well, seriously, I was like, okay, is it that it makes you uncomfortable because I don't, maybe I just need you to explain what you were saying again, because it didn't make sense to me.
There's going to be, which one is the one?
I don't know where I'm supposed to go, by the way.
That doesn't sound like Halsey.
Well, I have no clue. They all do to me.
I'm going to have to,
Is it the song called Darling that you didn't like last time? Because if it's that one, I win. I will have retroactively won that challenge if that song has suddenly grown on you. Because that was one you were like, oh, it doesn't sound like her. It's acoustic and it's not the usual vibe.
But I think I, in fact, said that that's the only one that was
decent. No, you didn't. You said that. You were like, no, that one did. I have the recording.
So, no, then that's not the one I'm thinking of then. Because all I know is that the one that I ended up adding was one that you hadn't shown me, but I was like, well, was
it Graveyard? Because you mentioned that you liked that one, but that one is not unlike her other songs by any stretch. Unless, did you listen to the weird acoustic version? There is a stripped version of that song. Is that what you listened to? Because you didn't mention that when you talked about it to me. This is the only room I can go in. It seems like a relevant room. But I guess it isn't. You're just getting teleported to my butt every couple minutes. I don't even feel like I'm getting... Like that, I was not far enough away from you to justify a butt teleport. It seems like I should be able to interact with one of these... But I can't.
I'm not gonna be able to. I'm gonna have to. I don't know which one it is that I ended up adding is the problem, because it's not.
What? Oops. Whoop. Well, we've gone back to old graphic mode. Well, let's stick with this for a little while. We've been living up in the fancy graphics. Now let's actually see the old and school stuff. This really isn't. This is still impressive to me. Like 2001, this ain't half bad. Okay, the lighting's definitely worse, but I mean, that's fine. Okay, but for reals, guys, how do I... Unless, is this just not where we're supposed to be? Find the main facility security override. That doesn't appear to be in here, so maybe this whole complex is a place we don't need to be. What? Would you care to give any kind of discussion to what it is you're trying to find?
Right, well, I can't... I don't... I know that it's one that was... That you even said characteristically was not... It didn't sound like her. Because I remember coming across it. It was on the Zune. And I remember coming across it, listening to it and going...
Zune,
yeah, but it was one that I was like, oh... I was listening to it and I went, oh, this is a cool, interesting song.
Are you sure it's not Graveyard? Because you mentioned Graveyard, but I don't... It's not at all unlike her, so I don't know why you'd think it wasn't her.
I don't...
But that's the only one you've mentioned to me since.
I'm gonna have to, but literally, I'm just gonna have to pull it up.
Well, yeah, I mean, you'll recognize it within the first bit, I guess. Just keep it away from the mic. We don't want to get struck. Also, could you get in the Warthog? We're leaving. You are now watching a man attempt to use a controller one-handed. Not for the reasons you think, either. You have teleported me to you now!
Okay, where are you?
Just follow me. I'm going to the truck. Okay, well, if you don't recognize it by now, then I don't think you're gonna.
I think this is it.
But this does not at all sound unlike her, so I'm not sure why you'd think, oh, this doesn't. This sounds a lot
It's
like her
not-
to me. I mean, it's not as techno-y, but I mean,
Correct.
they're certainly
Which
not
is-
all like that.
Most of her stuff is like
No.
that. It's heavily electronic.
The stuff I showed you was because I have a fascination with that, but if the
which is maybe that's the
a
rub.
decent half of that album is more songs like that.
Maybe that's the rub. You just. But
that song's not
electronica
slow.
more than me.
Well, yeah, we did discuss that, but I mean, that seems like a flimsy way of.
Of what?
Seems kind of a flimsy excuse for saying you don't like it.
I think you just don't like the fact that you didn't convince me in a single day.
No, I mean, it's not. I don't need
Yes,
a single
that-
day. I'll
that
convince you
eats
in
at
some
you.
way. No, I'm mostly confused as
You
to
just
why
want to take
it
credit
clearly
for
means that.
all of my musical choices.
No, it just means that. But the reason I'm interested is because I had thought it was much more of a shoe-in than it was, which means clearly something about your sense of musical taste I still don't
I
grasp.
think chiefly it's that electronica is not my jam.
Yeah, but that seems
It's not that thin. I mean, that's a
it feels a touch lacking in meat.
why.
Well, because
Vibe
surely
is half
surely
of
a
the
good,
song.
but a good song. Because I
You
mean,
can have the best lyrics and a really terrible vibe, and I still won't like the song.
yeah, but I mean, okay, but that's not just saying yeah, electronic is not my thing. That means you find it inferior. That's
Not that it's
stronger than
inferior.
just it's not
that
my.
it's inferior. It's not captivating.
Well, there's the entrance.
Yeah, but see, the captivating part of a song to me is the lyrics.
Yeah, but it's got to be both. The secret sauce is a both and. It's got to
Sure.
hit hard. Like my favorite thing is when a song captures a particular moment with the actual music.
Well, yeah, that's obviously what makes the great stuff great, but I mean, there are plenty of songs that I don't necessarily love stylistically that still hit hard lyrically, and that's enough for me. Because if all the song does is be catchy, then that's not going to be a song that I'm like,
suggesting
oh.
catchiness is the key either. Yeah, I think it is that. It was that one, whatever. The one
I
that
don't
just
know.
said.
I'm just saying with your fascination with the both and liminal space concept, I'm surprised that the reasons you gave for not liking it were
Which
not on.
particular song? Are you? It
It was
seemed
the-
like you're specifically.
That it was that one. I can't remember the name of it, but that's how the chorus goes. It's not called I Don't Need Anyone, I Just Need Everyone and Then Some, but I forget what the name of that song is. That's just how the chorus goes. Have I done a loop or is this a separate station?
To be fair, I
Everything's
forgot
dead.
that Halsey was the one that did Without Me.
Okay, do you like that one too?
It's okay. That one I actually
it's
don't
okay.
mind.
Okay, everything here is dead, so I
That
think we've
was
been
one
here.
I had
Yeah.
heard on the radio before you and I
Well,
even
yeah.
ever talked about Halsey.
I don't know.
And that one, I would say, it's like, I was like, this is kind of an interesting one. But it also reminded me,
Why would you do that? You threw off our balance.
what does that mean?
Well, if it's the car flipped over because of that.
Because I jumped out? I
Yes.
think not.
Hey, you weigh 1,000
It could have
pounds.
something to do with the fact that you jumped off a freaking building.
Hey, I did it last time and landed on the tires. You weigh 1,000 pounds, you know. Canonically, I'm not joking. I mean, you know what that's you're wearing a suit of like just pure titanium.
Is titanium specifically heavy? I don't know.
I mean, it's not light. Not in this amount.
Oh yeah!
Whoop! Oh, okay. Getting shot at means good. There's a life lesson, kids.
Covering fire!
Oh, okay. So there's a secret place. Punch him up. All right. There's a cave.
I've been saving a little present for you!
I like the Aussie guy. He's one of my favorite Marines. Come on. Well, see, but you're still... I don't know.
Him hawing? No.
We would have to revive the exact conversation then, because it was something about you... I tried to make the argument based on the fact that it's got the dichotomy going, and you were like, yeah, but I don't like that. And I was like, well, that's your whole thing, so then I clearly don't
The
get it.
dichotomy is not... I don't have a problem with the fact that black and white exists. I don't think it can exist
But see, I don't know what. Okay,
it's not. It's not. The problem is not that black and white exists.
There we go.
It's that I don't know that I feel that they can exist simultaneously.
That's exactly okay. But this is that's entirely the Protean, or not Protean. The Giannis thing is that they do. He's not the god of one thing and the other. He's the god of both of them together. He's the god of beginning and ends.
Which is obviously very...
So you acted as though that you walked right into that. You acted as though precisely that combination is what made him fascinating to you.
Well, it is in that...
Shoot him in the midriff.
I mean, it's a again, this comes back to the ideal versus the experiential. It's like the ideal is a yin-yang kind of thing where it's like, yes, black and white exists within the field of saying that black exists within white and vice versa. I mean, the reality is they do exist in...
And why does it bother you when both exist in one song?
Because I don't... So again, this is where you're going to delve into too deep a place you don't want to go with me. I don't know that I have enough emotional turmoil to sort through as far as me not being able to land on a particular thing, that sometimes a particular song that I'm listening to can be used as a roadmap to get me to one side or the other.
See, that goes back to what we were talking about first, is that you'd rather the thing be the ideal rather than the real.
I think the real... I think the real can be...
But then it's also...
both, and it's just that...
It also seems like this goes back to what I was saying about hitting close to home, where it's like you'd rather...
Yes, that is what it is.
You'd rather avoid that, whereas I seek that out.
It hits too close to home in that I already know that exists, and it sucks, especially in a particular context. Like, going back to the Eternal Sunshine of a Spotless Mind, the reason that it sucked is because he was at war with himself the entire time. He was upset with her, and honestly didn't like the fact that the way he was feeling about her was not particularly complimentary. It was like, I don't want her in my life. But then as he's going through and kind of reliving it, he realizes he actually does. And that tension exists all the time, and I'm obviously very aware that it exists all the time. It just sucks that it exists all the time.
See, I didn't... Again, you had more of a, like, conflicted reaction to that than I did. I didn't find that an uncomfortable thing about the film.
Oh, it's not uncomfortable. It's just... Well, I mean, yeah, it's uncomfortable in that... Do you not agree that if you're in a state of transience where you can't...
I am always in that state, though, because I am Proteus. This is, I mean, honestly, this is why the joke about the myths has become something that's actually useful for dialogue. Because...
But see,
I mean, again, I am leaning into it perhaps a bit too heavily when I say that.
No, not really.
I mean,
I think that the reality is, for me, that's actually alarming. To be in a transitory state where I can't... Because, okay, I can see, like, as Giannis, you can see black and white, but you're able to identify both. When you're in that transitory state, you almost can't see straight. You can't see what's what.
See, but I don't know that... I mean, I don't know the mythology well enough to know if this is accurate, because... I mean, his whole thing is being both simultaneously, which means it isn't like one then the other. It's both at once.
I'm not saying it's yes, but he's aware. He's able to identify both at once. Yeah, I feel like if I'm not, he's like, for instance, in the movie of The Eternal Sunshine of a Spotless Mind, he's sitting there going, he is confident that he doesn't want to be treated the way that he was being treated. However, he also, the way that she makes him crazy is also something that makes him crazy on a love level for her too. And it's like,
the opposites attract kind of thing.
Well, it's not purely even just the opposites attract as much as it was he realized that the very thing that he hated about her, he also was in love with.
Well, but I mean, that's similar where the advice sometimes is that the things you find quirky and interesting at the beginning end up being the things that annoy you later on once you get used to them. Okay. So there's literally no, where to go? I was literally just about to say there's nowhere to go but here.
I don't know that I have fully unpacked that.
I'm just
context
curious
as far as
because you
Giannis yet,
seem
but
to be...
I will admit, artistically, it is a struggle for me to embrace any art that puts me, or that echoes or just continues to...
All right, hold still, because this is probably going to kill me. But if you're alive, then we'll see what happens. Oh, I did survive.
Okay.
Not that I'm condoning this, but I thought this would be like an immediate...
What is down there?
Okay, well, this is no doubt going to kill me. I didn't intend to do that. Okay, so it will kill you eventually. Oh. Oh, I thought it would at least knock you off. The way I teleported right behind you was funny. Okay, well, I don't know what this is actually supposed to do. Unless, did we already do what we were supposed to do? We deactivated something. Was that the mission? Find the silent... Oh, okay, it was. So we deactivated a thing, now we gotta go find something.
So, I think, artistically, when something amplifies what I'm already feeling in that there's tension to be able to identify what is black and what is white, that's a struggle. Not a problem, just a struggle for me.
But black and white aren't the only dichotomies, though.
Yes.
So...
They are.
No, well, there's other dichotomies than black and white. I mean, it's not always a good and evil. Sometimes it's, beginnings and endings.
You're automatically putting a moral...
No, not all dichotomies are moral.
Well, but you just ascribed morality to black and white.
No, I didn't. I feel like that's what you're doing.
No, you said good and evil. I didn't.
No, I said there are other things other than black and white.
Yes, and then you said...
Well, good and evil is an example, and that is a moral one, but there's also, savory and sweet. Beginnings and endings, that's another thing Giannis is commonly associated with. So it's like they're not always... It's not always a moral struggle. Sometimes it's literally just...
But it's the dichotomy itself he's associated with.
Yeah, but that's why I'm confused as to why dichotomy bothers you.
It's not dichotomy that bothers me. It's not being able to differentiate. That's not dichotomy. You see?
Yeah, but I feel like...
Are you
I can't... Once again, I can understand in the difference between black and white versus gray, sure.
Right, that's my point. But, there's beginning and ending. There is, it's the whole mid-period thing. I hate it.
Okay, but see... Well, now that... But... Now, this could be a modernist reinterpretation, but I feel like I have heard...
Okay, how are you way over there? Jump to victory!
Whoa, hang on. Okay, there's loads of goodies.
What?
There's rockets up in here.
Does that say Stark?
No, it might be stylized after it, but I don't think it actually says it.
It said it.
Spunker. Spanker. Oh, I do know that they're called Spanker rockets. They're not actually called that, but that's what they're... That is what they are jokingly referred to by the Marines. All right, I'm getting in the truck if you want to ride out of here. I have to go back to that one song though, because I don't feel like the song is gray. I feel like the song flips back and forth.
You're right. That is true. Of that song, that's true. But see, if I'm already in a state of I'm not sure exactly which I'm feeling, it is difficult to listen to. I'm not saying it's bad, and in that regard, I think that you are correct in that you've hit the nail on the head and exposed some degree of, I wouldn't say fear. I think that's a little strong, but discomfort with ambiguity.
Well, sure, but ambiguity... Get out of the way, fellas.
Ambiguity can be a beautiful thing. It's just I don't function well.
Don't shoot our comrades.
Which I would say is still very
well. Then
much
I guess
in
the
line
question.
with Giannis.
This was all.
Ambiguity is not what he is. It's functioning in the both.
Yes.
It's the now and not yet. It's the both and.
But see, that's a liminal space. That is the definition of a liminal space.
Well, liminal, but not. It's not.
A liminal space is this point between two different things that is neither one nor the other.
But that doesn't leave you in limbo.
That's literally exactly what a liminal space means. It's a place that doesn't exist.
It does.
I mean, not in a physical sense, but it's a place between places. It's like it is not in one place, but not in another either.
But you recognize what both places are. You're
Do
not confused
you?
about.
I mean,
yes, you'd have to in order to know that you're in a liminal space in the first place.
I guess I don't know. I mean, there's a whole philosophy behind the concept of liminal spaces that I'm not sure I'm.
Well, to be fair, I'd have to brush myself up on it as well. I don't. Let's just cook his bones.
I thought you were gonna go back to balls again.
Cook his worm brain, whatever
it
is.
He's got worms.
He's got worms in his
armor. Well,
what about his ball sack?
Okay, is this the place to be, or is this the place I was?
I will level
guys...
with you. I need to go back and look more into that as well because I don't know that I know enough about liminal space to say this is what. But all I'm saying is within the Giannis narrative, I feel like the whole point is he lives in the space between, but he can see clearly both at the same time. That's the whole point. He can see black and white. He can see future and past. He can see. It's like, what if he wasn't able to see one or the other? That there was no clarity. That's what the struggle is for me. When a song communicates lack of clarity, I'm like, I don't
see. That's where I don't know that it's a lack of clarity, because simply to deliberately switch between two alternating points of view is not a lack of clarity.
You're correct.
It demonstrates exactly what you're talking about as being confronted with both things at the same time.
And that, yeah, you're right. There is a fear for, like, not a fear. There is a discomfort for me with that when I'm already in that space. If I'm not in that space, I
meant to jump and I didn't.
If I'm not in that space, I probably would have been more inclined to appreciate the song. But because I'm currently in that season, it's possible that I'm like, well, that sucks.
But see, that's odd. That's the other thing that I find odd. That's why I had the concept for the discussion of being, you know, the way you describe something as hitting close to home is. I'm just making a pile of corpses here. What? You could have just given him a cheeky pinch.
I did, and then it didn't work.
And he didn't take kindly to it. Where are you? I was trying to solve some kind of bizarre space puzzle, and I was wrong. Well, don't die before I can respond.
I think I might die soon.
I think I must, in fact. Well, where did you go?
I turned around and went this way, and then I went this way, that way, forward, backward. Take one down, pass it around, pinch his buns.
Relieve him, Doyle.
Oh, come on. You could have pinched his buns.
I stuck my gun up his buns and opened fire.
Arbiter.
But that, I guess that's the ultimate question is... if you say something hits close to home, is that a positive or a negative? Because I wouldn't consider it a negative thing. I tend to think of it as like,
it's not a negative thing. It's an amplifier. Again, to me, art is an amplifier of whatever you're currently experiencing.
Sure, I mean that's not.
I mean, is that an unfair statement?
Universally, I don't know, but that's certainly one of its functions.
So if it's not something that it either evokes emotion or it amplifies something that's already there.
Yeah.
And in my opinion, the best kind of art amplifies something that's already present in you, which is why you are then able to resonate.
But if then you're saying if you're uncomfortable with that, then that only amplifies the uncomfortable thing.
Well, it depends on the thing that it's amplifying, doesn't it? I mean, it's like if you're in a point. I don't know how I'm going to say this without getting myself into weird pits that I'm not going to be able to talk my way out of. On a example level, I'm just clarifying that now to make sure that I cover my.
Hypothetically speaking, a friend of mine went through this recently.
No, I'm just saying, if you are in a state of
There's a whole lot of these guys around.
I don't even know how to describe this.
Panic.
No. Sheer bloody panic, sir. No, you weird worm testicle.
Here's another one. He had a friend. These guys are not nearly as hard as they usually are.
So you're telling me that this neck right here that you see is just a bunch of worms occupying the same space?
Apparently.
So they're having a
Again, I wonder
they're
if,
having some sort of massive weird fest in there.
Yeah, it's nothing that the games give any hint to at all. So when I was reading about it in the books, I was like, okay,
it's a fuster.
This doesn't at all seem like what was happening. I don't know if it was what they intended all along or what. But.
If you are
I'm about to come across my corpse pile.